This team member has been with the project since it began, which was over 1 year ago, and has a lot of knowledge and skills that other team members lack. Which two actions should the team take to ensure project continuity? Now, see, this is a kind of a scenario which many of us might have faced also, right? See, a team member who has been in the project for long, right? Skilled team member is leaving the project, right? And there are various challenges when he leaves. So have you faced this kind of scenario in your projects, guys?
Yes, Pankaj.
Yeah.
It happens many times, right? So what should be the correct option? A, B. Now we have to choose two here.
Delta and echo.
One delta.
Delta and
Echo, E,
Echo.
E, option E.
delta and echo. Okay. So delta is absolutely okay. It's required, right?
C and D, like if it's within the organizations, they can like continue, and so C and D can be also, like C also can be the answer here.
See, actually, we'll do all of them, right? To some extent, are we going to do all of them?
Yes.
Right. I'm not picking B because we'll not be waiting till next retrospective, and right, retrospective is not the only place. You should immediately take it into attention, right? So if I ask you to pick the topmost, highest priority or the best two, how about alpha and delta? The most important ones. The first thing that you have to do.
Yeah, the record the sessions as well.
So is D subset of alpha? Is D a subset of alpha?
Yeah, that can be also, like this recording is there, it's for forever, like for
Plus, if it is taken as a part of the product backlog, you will do it, right? So tell me, which is better, alpha or delta?
As per project management,
I mean,
yes.
alpha is the trigger point for delta.
So sorry, alpha and delta are okay. Sorry, alpha and delta both are okay, right? Now, Bravo and Charlie. So, the question is, which two actions should the team take? Which two actions should the team take to ensure continuity, right? So as per me, the choices should be alpha and delta, right? Because if you see B, discuss the risk of a key dependency resignation in the next. See, this is not an action actually, but definitely you should immediately do it. The moment you will come to know, you should do it, right? But you have to have a response in place. C, inform the team manager that unless they find someone soon, it could be detrimental. This is also not an action. It's just a consequence. E, ask the departing member to nominate existing team member who seem to have the best skill. So tell me, should it be alpha, delta, or should you include should you do delta and echo?
I will go ahead with delta and echo.
Delta and echo, okay. But
Because they say the continuity of the project. I'm not able to understand how the option A will ensure the continuity of the
now see,
project.
let's read this line. I'm just highlighting one line here. Yeah, Santosh, can you read this line?
This team member has been with the project since it began, which was over 1 year ago, and has a lot of knowledge and skills that other team members lack.
So none of the other team member has the completely relevant skills. Now, if they clearly say has a lot of knowledge and skills that other member lack, right? So, nominating a member, right, by this member, will it be effective based on this line?
Alpha and delta.
And what does exactly option A means? I mean, does it, I mean,
See, you have to do a knowledge transfer session, right?
yeah, that's D.
But tell me, if you take it as a product backlog item, then it also becomes the scope of work, right? And if you record the session, it will be more effective. Now, recording the session means, you should put in paper or whatever way is more effective.
Oh.
See, the question is such that, which two action you must do. If I say which two actions you must do to ensure the continuity, won't it be alpha and delta?
For me specifically, I'm not very much clear what exactly actions would be in the option A. So that's why probably I'm not able to link myself with option A.
So tell me, when I say interview the department team member and record the session, so what kind of questions will be asked to interview the departing team member? One, what are the key tasks you feel that are challenging, right? Who do you think is the best person, right, for taking the ownership of the task, right? Do you think the team require any kind of specialized training, or see if possible we can get somebody trained with him also? Are you following it now, Santosh? So can option, to some extent, option E will be covered as some of the set of questions of option A,
Yes.
right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right. So the correct answers are alpha and delta, right? Can I move to the next question?
Yes.
Now, company H is completing a merger and has acquired several valuable assets from company Z that require specialized care, including intellectual property rights and museum artifacts. The team is conflicted about what to do, but the product owner has identified knowledge transfer to ensure that new organization can maintain the collection properly as one of the highest priorities for the merger. Which two of the following actions should the team take? So what should be the answer?
Delta and echo.
Okay, delta.
Alpha and echo.
Okay. Now, what are the challenges here? Can somebody tell me the challenges? The challenge is intellectual property right here, right? And the museum artifacts, right?
Yes.
So, should it be, now see, delta is correct actually. Both of you have said delta, right?
Yeah.
Delta hire specialist in the intellectual property right and museum management to lead the formal transfer, right? See, alpha and delta should be the right answer. Pair leader from the each of the critical business element in both companies for collaboration.
Yeah, because there is a conflict. So
Yeah. See again, you know, the answer lies here. You read this. You read the question here. If you read this part of the question, guys, the team is conflicted about what to do, but the product owner has identified knowledge transfer to ensure the new organization can maintain the collection properly as one of the highest priorities for merger. Now, actually, you know, the question is, you know, how can you create a proper product backlog item? See, it's a merger and acquisition project, right?
yeah,
Right. See, they are asking this question actually. How can you create this backlog? Right. So, you know, even a product owner needs some input from various people. So tell me, you know, will these two actions, alpha and delta, help you to create a properly prioritized product backlog? Alpha and delta, these two actions help you to create a product backlog or scope of work or priorities of scope of work?
yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, Pankaj.
Now I'm moving to the next one. So the correct answer is alpha and delta. Now, question number 52. You can read it yourself first.
Option D, delta.
Option D, delta, right?
Yeah, the D should be answer.
Okay. So you are saying delta, right? Delta, D delta, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. So shall I move forward?
Yes, Pankaj.
Yeah. So there are two options in this question. So this question is actually about team improvement. It's an easy question, right? So what should be the answer? I think you all should be able to answer it. So tell me, can I outrightly reject A here?
Yeah.
Right? Because they're
Charlie
talking.
and Delta.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Ankuj, you said Charlie, right?
Charlie, yeah. And
But
Delta.
tell me, see, is B better than Charlie or not?
Communicate goes better.
Right? Because see, many times the goals are not understood. See, again, why are you having team meetings? Because to communicate and the communicate. So, the reason for C is actually see, B is the best answer.
Okay.
See, rather than saying have more number of team meetings, shall I say communicate, and communicate? Each and every team member should be clear about the goals. Shall I
Yeah,
say
it is
this or
about
not?
continuous
Yeah.
improvement is why I picked have more team meetings, because
So
that is
I
how you
think
will.
rather, but see, if I have to do stepwise improvement, right, or
Mhm.
continuous improvement, I think everyone should be clear about the goals.
Right.
So B is better and more objective as compared to C, right? So I would say B, and the next option is Delta, which you
Delta.
already answered. Provide more learning opportunities, right?
Okay.
So should it be Bravo or Delta, or you think differently?
Bravo and
Bravo
Delta.
Delta.
Right, Bravo or
Mhm.
Delta.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think we missed one question. Can you try the next one? See, these questions are very generic in nature. So the way PMI has divided all the questions in their cloned question set, right? They have questions on hybrid, they have questions on agile, they have questions on predictive, and these are called as agnostic questions. They call this category of questions as agnostic.
Option D.
So do you all agree D?
Yes.
Perfect. It's D, right? Now, 55th. After months of information gathering and meetings with the community, a police force want to design and launch an app to improve the quality of communication with the members of the public. One of the critical stakeholders, right? How is this example of continuous process improvement? How is this an example of continuous process improvement? What should be the answer? It's a straight answer, guys.
Option A.
Option C.
But again, what is the outcome actually? See, A, it's okay. But again, Ankuj, answer should be C, right? The
Yeah,
ultimate
right,
impact
right.
will be C only, right? It is intended
Yeah,
to improve efficiency of and quality of communication between the police and the members of the public, right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, the last question from this tab. A highly engaged agile team is forced to halt business operations when major crisis occurs, closing offices and requiring employee to work remotely. Many team members who were high performing contributors before the crisis are missing daily stand-ups or attending meetings, but turning their camera off and not participating. Because of poor attendance, the project is not meeting sprint goals. Consequently, the project is not performing well. Which action is the most effective way to motivate the team?
Option Delta.
D.
So do we all agree D?
Yes, Pankaj.
Yes.
Right. So this completes this tab of 55 questions. Now let's shift to the active questions. Can I hide the key?
Yes.
I think this is also not needed.
There are 3 options only here, Pankaj.
Sorry, I'm just reducing the size. I changed the tab, so I'm in this. Right. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Huh.
Option B, Delta.
Okay. So we all agree with option Delta. An efficient agile team in a large corporate generate ideas and added innovative features to the backlog. After the additional features are tested and complete, the portfolio owner rejects all of them. So can I say D Delta is the answer?
Yeah.
Right. So, again, a product owner should interact, with the external stakeholders also, key stakeholders also, to understand their requirements. So it's both outbound role and inbound role. He interacts with the external environment, the environment external to the project to understand what is needed. And he also interacts with the team to clarify their understanding about the requirement. Right. So the correct answer is D Delta. If anybody of you feel differently, let me know. So guys, are we all agreeing to Delta? Are we
Yes.
all? Yes. So next one. The marketing director wants to be first to market to launch a version of a smartphone shopping application for retired people and has asked the agile team to develop it. What should the project manager do to begin the development process?
Option A.
Yeah, everything else is a subset of A.
Yeah.
Okay, option A, you're saying. What should the project manager do to begin the development process?
Option D.
D is the yeah.
So let's option which one?
D.
D.
Delta, right?
Delta.
Delta. It should be minimum viable product first, right?
But why is that, Pankaj? Because they've already decided to develop it, right? So the minimum viable product, I mean, does
Now,
not come
see,
into picture.
now let's see. The marketing director wants to be first to market to launch a version of a smartphone shopping application for retired people, right?
Hmm.
Right? They want, so first version, and ask the agile team to develop it. What should do? See, the first thing would be again to identify, but again, see, even if you go with a, even if I have decided for a market launch, right?
Mhm.
Now, I have to define the set of features with which I'll go with the market launch or not.
Yes.
Right. So can I call it as a minimum marketable product, the minimum features which are required? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Now, sometimes my basic, see, when I don't have interim viable MVP, can I treat my first release as a, see, my, in this case, can my MMP, minimum marketable product, will be my MVP also?
Yeah.
And the real owners, the end users are my stakeholders against which I am validating by minimum feature. If it doesn't work well, I'll not go further. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Right. So the answer should be D delta. Right. See, an MMP in some situations can act as a MVP, but not vice versa. MVP is not MVP. MVP is not MMP all the times, right? So in this case, you are going with the first release, which is very basic in nature, and you are validating it openly. Is that okay?
Okay.
So delta. A company is losing market share to competitors with new business model. The agile team is asking to restrict the number of features of a product and release versions more quickly to the market. How will this request impact planning?
Option C.
Option C, right? The sprint backlog. No, but again, it's about the product. So should we refer to sprint backlog or it's a product level challenge?
Option D.
See, again, Divya, your reasoning is correct. Obviously some prioritization is required and, some high value things should be delivered, right? Right. So, but again, we are talking about the entire product launch, right? So we should not be talking about sprint backlog
D.
here, right? Now, if I see D, the increment will be reduced, right? If I see D, the increment will be reduced to enable faster product release. Okay. Now see, see, faster product release is okay. Now, but can you
But
see?
they're talking about the features as well.
So A.
Can you give me which answer? A.
Then
A.
A, yeah.
A
The
should be
alpha
the
is a
answer.
very complete answer,
Functionality.
right?
Yeah.
The backlog will be prioritized to deliver basic functionality in small increments, right? And if you see
But-
this, yeah.
Pankaj, but the backlog will already be prioritized to deliver small functionality, right from the beginning. Otherwise,
No,
what is the whole purpose of delivering?
See, backlog, every item in the backlog is not as per the definition of ready, right? See, a backlog is always emergent, but see, tell me, this is one difference between emergent, right, agile and a typical statement of work. Is backlog, do we baseline a backlog? Never. See, even if 100 items are there in the backlog, is it our bound? Is
No.
it a foundation to deliver 100 items?
No.
But definitely those items which are highest priority ones, we keep on refining them and convert them as per the definition of ready, and they are delivered.
Okay.
Right. So the correct answer should be A alpha. The backlog will be prioritized to deliver basic functionality in small increments, right? Is that okay?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the difference between A and C?
Yeah. See, C only talks about sprint, right? Sprint backlog will be reprioritized to work on the smallest and simplest. Now, see, smallest is not the reason. See, obviously, ultimately, it should be definition of ready. But
Okay.
tell me,
Okay.
should we focus on sprint backlog or should we focus on backlog, product backlog?
Backlog. Product.
Right? Now, and we do a look ahead planning. We should at least, when you are talking about releasing a product, don't you think we should talk about at least 2-3 sprints?
Correct. Correct.
Because see, minimum functionality will require some sprints, right? Some number of sprints.
Hmm.
So it should be the product backlog primarily, right?
Okay.
Now the next one. The pandemic has caused delays, which will make it very difficult to launch a new product on time. Television ads for the launch date are already purchased. So the CEO has asked the project manager to find a way to launch the product, even if some minor features are not included. Which measure would be the most effective step towards a successful and timely product launch?
Option
So
C.
now it's a product launch. See, again, I tell you, more than fast track or crashing, right? I think again you should look at MVP.
D.
D,
Delta.
right? See, the best way is D. Plan a parallel iterative track to develop requirement for minimum viable product and de-scope unnecessary predictive tasks, right? See, when I started my training career, I used to do a lot of trainings for government, right? And Ministry of Railways was one of the department. Now, they would face a lot of challenges in terms of scheduling. And one challenge was, ministers will simply say, deliver this project by, November 30th. Despite the fact, the project will take a lot of time, ministers will simply give deadline. This has to be finished by November 30th. And what would happen with these railway people? They will backward schedule from November 30 based on the date dictated by the minister.
Right.
Tell me, suppose a railway track has to be created along with stations, right? They will simply start doing backward scheduling. And then at the end, it will be a mess. Tell me, is it a right approach or should they plan MVP first?
MVP first.
First, they should plan MMP or MVP. And then, they can think about fast tracking and crashing. Right? In fact, the first thing should be they should do a forward scheduling. They should do actually how much time it will take to do the project, right? For example, if minister has given 30th and if they do their scheduling and estimation, it turns out that project will complete February next year, right? So they should understand how much to de-scope and what all they can de-scope from this project, right? What are not must-to-have features. So anything apart from must-to-have can be de-scoped and then they can think about fast tracking and crashing, right? Now, a complex project with high security protocols has key stakeholders located in the United States, France, and China. A senior manager requested confidential project information to be shared with the project partner. Which step should the project manager take next?
So check like the communication management plan is allowable or not.
Option
Yes.
D.
So we all agree? No, but see, delta should be delta.
Yeah, D.
D, right? Delta.
Yeah.
Because communication management plan will talk about any confidentiality requirement, right? Now, the next one. A project is delayed because the deliverable are not of acceptable quality a change is required, first, the project manager issues a formal change request and communicate the change to all the stakeholders. The stakeholders are not satisfied with this. They want a more detailed report about the nature of the delay. What should the project manager do next? So, you know what to report, when, at what frequency, in whatever details. It is a part of communication management plan, right? And the foundation for communication management plan is stakeholder engagement plan. So what should be the answer?
Option A.
Should option A be the answer?
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
right? See, if you want, in a stakeholder engagement plan, apart from stakeholder engagement assessment matrix that I showed you, we also capture communication management plan, right? We also capture communication requirement of the stakeholders, and based on this, we prepare a communication management plan later, right? So 106 now. The initial draft of a project management plan is completed. The project manager plans to show the draft to stakeholder for the approval. The project manager has limited time to gain approval. The project management plan is lengthy and stakeholders are located all over the world. The project manager needs to ensure that review of the plan is completed on time. Which action should the project manager take?
Option A.
So do we all agree? Option A? So option A is the correct answer. Send the plan for the stakeholder to review and then meet with all of them to discuss it. Now, the next one. A project's single sponsor has been replaced by a steering committee due to a significant increase in the project size. How should the project manager approach this change?
Ali,
Option C, Charlie.
Okay, schedule a low-key introductory meeting with the key.
I should say D, just share the project status report.
You said A or see, we have to answer it from a project manager's perspective. The question is this.
Delta.
You can read, you can
Delta.
again. Yeah, this is the.
Just share the status, project status report with new committee. Because now, like, the committee is the stakeholder or like the sponsors, like they are looking into the project. So just share the report.
But tell me, apart from this, see, first of all, you have the stakeholders changed now?
Yes.
So should you directly go with option D, or should you first understand stakeholder needs?
Yeah, it's just change in scope. or change in size. Sorry. So.
So plus, a stakeholder may demand more detailed or less detailed or some
Correct.
different report, right? So
Correct.
they will, some modification might require. So should it be alpha or delta? Should it be alpha or delta?
But alpha is only talking about tailoring the communication, right?
Yeah. So obviously, Ankush, we are definitely going to communicate to the new steering committee meeting also now, because they are now the key stakeholders.
But how do you, what do you change? You still
Yeah,
communicate the same way, right?
Okay. See, you might have faced a situation when the management changes.
Hmm.
You might have seen that situation, right?
Yes.
Tell me, when the management changes, the demand of a new management, right, in terms of communication, in terms of reporting, right, is it same or does it also change?
It can or may or may not change.
It may or may not, right? So at least, as a project manager, right? As a project manager, I would like to understand the expectation. One is first I understand the expectation of the new management, and then obviously I'll communicate, right? I'll ensure that they receive the report for sure, right? See,
Right.
I will talk to this. I'll talk to the new management. I'll have a communication with this right, or I'll engage with the new management to understand their expectation in terms of reporting, right? And I'll update my stakeholder engagement plan and the communication management plan accordingly.
Right.
Right. Now, tailor communication means I'm updating my communication management plan, that what is required by the new management. So they might require some modification. They might require some item to be added in the report, right? For example,
for that to happen, you will have to meet with them first, right?
You have to engage with them, yes, because see, the first thing is when the stakeholder changes, right? You have to engage with them and understand their expectations.
So that is what option C is saying, that you schedule a low introductory meeting with the new steering committee. That is where you engage with them.
But why teams should meet the steering committee? And plus, see, if you see, Charlie, schedule a low-key introductory meeting with the new steering committee and the team while continuing to follow the initial project plan. See, when the communication, because communication management plan and the stakeholder engagement plan, they are also part of project management plan, they might change now.
Yeah, but it will only change after the meeting. But till that point, you meet with them and follow the old protocol only, right? Till it changes.
Okay. So,
because nowhere it has said that the things have changed. It is saying what should change.
No, see, things have not changed, but again, the management has changed, right?
Right.
The board has changed. When the board is changed, don't you think there should be some change in the reporting? There may or may not be, as you said rightly.
Right.
But you should understand the expectations of the new board. And
no, that is correct. But as a project manager, you have a set of things that you report on, right? So you keep doing the standard project management things that you've been doing, unless you are asked to change.
But everything need not to be reported to steering committee, right?
Right. But unless you don't engage with them, how would you know?
You have to engage with them, yes. You have to engage with them for sure, right? But
yeah,
engaging doesn't, right? See, till it makes some sense. Schedule a introductory meeting with a stakeholder to understand their expectations, right? Right?
Correct. Yeah.
It may not require the whole team though, right? But when you say while continuing to follow the initial project plan, this is wrong.
Right.
Right? Now you have to follow the updated one after this.
But it has not been updated is my point. I'm saying till that point, you will follow the original project plan, right? Till there.
No, but it's not saying till then, Ankush, it's saying while continuing to follow the initial project plan. Continuing.
You mean after that? Yes. After that, it will change. What it kind of implied here is while means right now following the initial plan, you change after you meet with them.
Yeah. Because they may say that, some items are missing. We are interested to see
Right.
those items. Right? So
Right.
the format may change, right?
Okay.
Right. So, so the best answer is A, alpha, right?
Okay.
I think the next one has three answers. Actually, they have written two, but the answers are 2, 3. Can I change it? In the PMI has written, 2 here, but they have 3 options for this.
And also, what the previous question, why alpha is because something is changed in stakeholder structure, and everybody
Yes.
needs to know first that what's not there at least
And
before
what are the
engaging the new.
Yeah, and what are their expectations? Yes.
Yeah.
So can I reduce the size so that you can see all the options, guys? So this is the question, and we have choose 3, not choose 2. Now, in response to slippage on some scheduled tasks, the project manager reprioritized a number of subsequent tasks to try to fix the problem. Right? This did not work. So the project manager need to escalate the issue. Which two? I don't know why they're saying which two. They're giving 3 options as an answer. So I think it should be which 3. Which 3? Which 3 items will the project manager need to consult?
E, C, and D.
You all agree? Bravo, Charlie, and Delta.
B, C.
Bravo, Charlie, and Delta, right? These are the 3,
Yes.
right? Because for escalation, right, it should be, see, escalation plan is defined in communication management plan, right? Right. He has to engage with the stakeholders also, right? Right. Stakeholders at the risk associated with the issue, right? So these 3 are the plans that he must reference to, right?
What is the configuration management plan, Pankaj?
We'll see version management plan, right? So tell me, in project documents can have different versions,
Yes.
right? Because see, project management plan is constantly updated. You have seen stakeholder engagement and communication management plan getting updated. So configuration management plan is an approach to manage your versions, right? Which tool are you going to use? Which naming conventions are going to use? See, for example, as you move from one version to another, it can be either 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, or it can be 1, 2, 3, it can be 1.111, 1.1. So
Right.
there's which tool to be used. Like there are various tools like SVN, CVS, right? Right, GitHub, many other tools are there. So, disregarding that.
Okay.
Now we'll do this. Next question will be the last question, guys. Then we'll wind up, right? Now, we have 2 to be picked here. A governmental agency becomes a stakeholder on a complex project due to regulatory changes In the light of the change, the project manager needs to develop an understanding of this new stakeholder and identify any new high-level risk that may result from the change. Which two options should the project manager use? So a new stakeholder has come
A
in.
and C.
Right?
A
and
Uh,
C.
A and C.
Absolutely. Alpha and Charlie are correct. Right. Right. You will engage with the new stakeholder to understand their expectation, alpha. Right. And you have, based on their requirement, you will update the stakeholder management plan also, engagement plan also. Right. So alpha Charlie. Do we all agree to alpha Charlie, guys? Right. So, that's all we have for today. Right. Can we wind up the session here?
Sure.
Sure.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.